All right, we'll call to order the zoning board meeting for June 17th, 2026. Heidi, can you call the roll, please?
It's Christine Brochu,
Absent with cause.
Ellen Cornell,
Absent with cause.
Keith Kyle,
Here.
Leslie McKnight,
Absent with cause.
John Ball,
Here.
Karen Coutinho,
Here.
David Charnisel.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, you have 4 members present. We have a quorum.
All right, thank you. The first matter on the agenda is administrative matters. A1 is zoning board meeting July 23rd, 2026, quorum confirmation. So are we going to have?
That's just the standing agenda item that you're all going to be here at the meeting.
Okay.
I'm waiting for the Bombay meeting point, and I'll know on July 6th, so I can't say I will be here.
Okay. We'll see.
The next matter is a discussion on the rules of procedure. Is there anything that you need to attend to on that?
Not necessarily, just a reminder that staff is working on this item, and if anybody has further commentary for that, please send it to our department. Otherwise, we're hoping to have a more inclusive draft for you all to review in depth, probably by July.
Great, thanks, Amanda. The last item on the administrative matters is the comprehensive plan update, zoning board stakeholder appointment.
I can take that one.
Yeah, would you please?
Sure.
That would be great.
So the town is updating its comprehensive plan, and we are asking all boards that may be considered a stakeholder for one of the required elements of the comprehensive plan to attend. We're asking each board to assign a person who could attend a stakeholder meeting, and then they can report back to you. So we're looking for someone from the zoning board who may want to participate as a stakeholder in one or more of the stakeholder meetings we have. We'll have 6 of them. They might not all be relevant, but just didn't know if you wanted to appoint someone. It's like missing a few folks, but
They've got a good idea. We should appoint someone who's not here.
oh yeah, you could probably do that.
They get drafted.
Does anyone here want to volunteer?
And if you want,
John? Well, I think I could move to appoint John if he wants to do it.
yeah, if John wants to do it, and then if for some reason, so what I was going to say, Mr. Chairman, is you can certainly appoint someone, and then if at a later date you want to, for some reason you have to switch it up, you can switch it up too.
Okay. Well, I would like to appoint John Ball to that role. Everyone okay with that?
Great idea.
All right. You're appointed. There's a few continuances, just for the sake of anyone who's here, for them. Let me just announce those, because you might want to not spend the rest of your evening here. So D1 Gibson Court Condominium Association, that's going to be continued. Is that correct?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, it'll be continued to July 23rd, 2026.
Okay. And then there's one other matter, D4 Brook, Plat L, Lot 112, 39 Major Arnold Road. That's also going to be continued.
Yes, that's correct. I believe people from that team might be present in the audience.
Is there anyone present for that?
Yes.
Yep. Come on up, sir.
Matthew Greenberg, Grunberg, Bush and Kavanaugh, and we represent Ms. Alexander Brooks, 39 Major Arnold Road. Obviously, she was scheduled to be heard tonight. Unfortunately, we discovered there was a defect in our abutter notice. It was sent one day too late, possibly because we're here on a Wednesday rather than a Thursday, along with other reasons. So we are requesting of the board that we be placed on the July calendar so that we can remedy that defect, resend out proper notice, just have everything in good order before we present to you.
Okay, is there a motion to continue this matter?
I'll move to continue.
Is there a second?
Second.
We're all in favor of that. What's the next?
July 23rd, 2026.
Thank you. Thank you, Council. Yep.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, you need to continue to a date certain, D1.
Didn't we do that?
No, you didn't.
I don't think you took a motion.
Oh, sorry. Is there a motion on D1 Gibson Court Condominium Association to continue that to July 23rd?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The next matter is the approval of the minutes from May 21st, 2026. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve?
Is there a second? All in favor? Aye. Motion approved. The next matter is appeals. Michelli, Plat L1, lots 4 and 250, 16 Pocono Road. We have received briefs from Rhode Island Land Use and from Diana Pearson, who represents an abutter. And I know that it was agreed at the last meeting that all parties interested in this would file their briefs by today so that we could consider them in July hearing. So I know we're missing 2, I think.
Let's see, so I know, as far as action tonight, you're already scheduled for a July meeting. You'll get a submission from the town of Shore.
All right, well, what we would like, I think, because we is that within 2 weeks, can we get a reply?
Sure.
Because we want to give the people who have filed these an opportunity, and you as well, if anyone wants to file a rebuttal or a reply to these briefs. Does that
Sure.
make sense?
Does.
Okay. Is there a motion to allow the town to submit their brief within 2 weeks?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, the next matter on appeals is Savag, and I believe that's being withdrawn, right? Is that,
That's correct.
okay. So we don't need a motion or anything to withdraw it.
No, it's the applicant's prerogative. We have that in writing. The applicant's lawyer submitted that to Ms. Petrona earlier, it might have been last week, actually.
Okay. All right, the next matter on for hearing, and this is a continuation from the prior hearing, is Nero, Plat NR, lot 28380, Onondaga Road. Mr. McGreen,
Good evening, Mr. Chairman.
good evening.
I'm Jack McGreen. I walk from Happy Valley, 21 Garden City Drive, Cranston, Rhode Island. The applicant and owner is Lisa Nero, as trustee of the Nero Trust. The property is located at 80 Onondaga Road in Bonnet and is located in R10 zone with a lot area of 15,000 square feet. As you may recall at the last meeting, the applicant proposed to construct, construct a second floor addition to an existing garage to contain 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, along with 198 square foot deck on the second floor. At that time, we were seeking a 200 square foot floor area ratio variance. We were seeking a 3% hardscape variance, a 10.9 foot left side setback variance, a 7.2 inch rear setback variance, and a special use permit for an accessory structure over 16 feet, which was the garage. And then we were also finally seeking a special use permit for a home exceeding 4 bedrooms. That meeting was continued so we could supply you with a plan to demonstrate that we could meet the requirements of section 7.10 relating to more than 4 bedrooms, which is the 300 square feet per car, being able to pull out in a forward direction with a center aisle of 10 feet. After that meeting, and because of the feedback and your concern that perhaps we were asking for a little bit too much relief, we amended our plans and we attached the garage to the house, which took off everything, all the requested relief, except for the more than 4 bedroom relief special use permit. So, and that was actually at the suggestion of Ed Pimentel, that's here tonight, who'll be testifying as well. But right now what I'll do is I'll just bring up our architect, and he can just walk you through that plan, just to demonstrate and show you how we meet the requirements of the 300 square foot parking space per car. He was previously sworn in at the last meeting. I don't think he needs to swear in again. Step up.
Yeah, he was sworn in at the last,
Yes.
during the last session.
Ed wasn't, so he'll need to be sworn
Right,
in.
he's still under oath, sir, just so you know.
Peter Bossio, B-O-S-C-I-O. This plan, okay, so what we did was we, as he mentioned, we took the two-car garage addition and we attached to the back of the existing house. We reduced the footprint down to a single-car garage, reduced the bedroom to sit over that 24 by 22 by 22 building addition. And we were able to make a connection on the second floor of the existing house through a bedroom to get access from that two-bedroom addition into the existing house. So all we did was take out a closet and relocated the closet in an existing bedroom. Which, that's the first floor? Oh, that one right there, thank you. So that kind of shows the modifications to that partial second floor. We're still keeping the two bedrooms. The stair is internal. These are single bedroom use over the garage. There's a deck that connects the second floor bedroom areas to the existing house. Yeah, much better, thank you. And there, again, the house is seasonal use. It's not used for winter. The owners close the house and use it to Chicago. And the house is never used in the winter. If you want to go back to the site plan for a moment, let me show you. There might be one that shows the cars parking on the, yeah. So we increased the parking area to be able to pick up the 10 foot between the car spaces. We have the 6 cars that are required for the 4-bedroom use. And we also graphically illustrated the car backing into the property and exiting out straight, as opposed to backing out onto the road, which they do now. We reduced, to get that additional area, we reduced the front walk, eliminated the front walkway, created a pervious walkway, walked the driveway to the front door. We didn't use that front walkway to the street, so we removed it completely. That's when we picked up the additional area. This outline here represents the existing garage, which is being removed and replaced with new. We're keeping the shower, the outdoor shower, just relocating it off the back of the building.
Any questions?
Questions? No questions?
I have a question. I'm looking at the project summary that's in our package on page 5. It talks about development standards for home exceeding 4 bedrooms. And could you address section 4A that talks about second story not to exceed 40% of the gross floor area allowed for the entire structure as it relates to this design?
Call me now, I can't think about that. What did you say? I can't answer that question. Yeah, if you could-
It was in the staff report?
It's in, yeah, it's in the staff report, and it caught my eye. It's on page 6, Council. It talks about the site plan shall comply with the FAR requirements, and one of the following additional development standards shall be incorporated into the design of structures on lots of less than 5,000 square feet net lot area, A, for 2-story homes. The second story shall not exceed 40% of the gross floor area allowed for the entire structure.
It's a 15
I think,
Wait a minute, guys.
Are we-
we're gonna talk one
Sorry,
at a
I
time.
Are we in the wrong one? Am I in the wrong one?
think that's all it is.
Am I in the right spot? I am in the right spot,
I
okay.
can have my other witness come up and testify as to that section.
Okay,
And
perfect.
This is a 15,000 square foot lot, though.
Right, that's why it's not applicable.
Right, that's
It's
why it's
15,000 square feet. It's not
Okay.
5,000.
5,000.
All right, so,
Yeah, it's not applicable.
all right, I'm sorry, I misread it, for lots less than 5,000,
Right.
so
Yeah,
you don't
okay,
need to
that-
comply with
correct.
that. Got it, thank you for the
That's where they threw it a
clarification.
little bit, yeah,
Right.
sorry.
Any other questions for this witness?
No, I don't. You're all set.
May I approach the distributor?
So next witness I have is Ed Pimentel. He's testified before this board on several occasions. I'd ask you that to be recognized as an expert planner and maybe swear him in.
So recognize, you can swear him in.
Mhm.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do, for the record, Edward Pimentel, P as in Paul, I-M-E-N-T-E-L.
Thank you.
So, obviously, I'm new to the project here before the board, but when Attorney McGreen reached out and said, we have a matter before the zoning board, and asked me to take a look at it, although the burden of least relief necessary is no longer valid, I said, obviously, if we can design this in a manner where we don't need any dimensional relief, so we're not defining from the regulations, let's see if the client will be willing to do so. That's why we took continuance of several months. We went through iterations with the architect and the surveying engineer to design a way to eliminate all the relief that would have been required, and then try to cure to the extent we could the special use permit standards. So, for the board's iteration, I took all the different proposals, current conditions, and carried it through to show to the work that's been happening. The only thing that still maintains, and there's no way to cure it, is the existing front porch. There's a 25-foot front yard setback. I mean, this is a pre-existing dimensional nonconformity that's protected, but it's at 24.1 feet. We're talking 9/10 of a foot. Anecdotally, curiously enough, it's the only existing dimensional deficiency of the property now, but anecdotally, you're allowed up to 5% modification as a matter of right. I even analyzed it as if we were requesting it today, and we're not in a flood zone, we're not in a coastal overlay. So if you apply the standards, we'd be entitled to 1.2 feet of relief as a matter of right, so even then, it's 9/10, we're protected there as well. But it's a pre-existing condition, we're not exacerbating it. What we were able to cure was we eliminated the rear yard setback because the existing accessory structure garage encroached into the rear yard, and then of course we were intensifying and expanding upon it. We've extinguished the accessory structure, we're putting an addition off of the principal, so this is all entirely a principal structure, bringing it under the principal height, and we comply with the principal setbacks now. So that deficiency's been eliminated, it's compliant. The next was the side yard, once again associated with the pre-existing accessory structure. By demolishing and raising that and moving it, we've cured that deficiency. We've made compliance with the FARs, the hardscape, the front yard hardscape, etc. And then we also eliminated the special use permit that would have been required because accessory structures have more constrained setbacks and height requirements. By eliminating the accessory structure and putting an addition on, making this all principal, we've eliminated that special use permit. So all that remains is exceeding 4 bedrooms. There are a number of standards. They're addressed in my analysis. I skirted over the subjective ones because, as a matter of law now, it's specific and objective. And they fell into 3 groupings. The first one was parking related. And the second one were all setback related. And then the maneuvering or the setbacks associated with the parking. So those are the 3 groupings. So when we widened the driveway to maintain the aisle width so we could do sort of that 3 or 4 point turn, so ingress and egress and forward motion, you still have to maintain a 2-foot separation. We've maintained that even with increasing the driveway. So that was standard number 1 that we met, so we're not asking any dimensional relief from the standards associated with the grant of the special use. Secondly, was you need 300 square feet of parking area per bedroom, 1,800, combination of garage, driveway, and a slight enlargement by maintaining a setback. We exceed that requirement, so we're in compliance. And then thirdly, it states that if you want to pursue a special use permit to exceed the bedroom count, you need to show that you're also in dimensional compliance. So that played into the redesign as well. So now you're asking for a special use and trying to justify dimensional variance to get the special use. We cure that, we are complying with that standard, so we meet all the standards for the granting of the singular special use permit now. And it's in the analysis there.
You want to mark this as an exhibit, Jack, so that it's part of the record?
We'll call it applicants 1.
Yeah, can we do that? There's no one, our secretary is not present.
I can mark it.
I can mark it. I've got the.
She's got this.
Oh.
And it is an extra one. Why don't we mark that as an exhibit?
Actually, if I can, that would be applicant's exhibit 3. Applicant's
Make it 3,
exhibit
Jack.
1 and 2 were submitted September
There were
18th.
2 other exhibits admitted at the last hearing. So we'll make this 3.
Oh,
Yeah. What's that? Any questions from Mr. Pimentel or?
Thank you.
Ms. Speak?
Thank you.
That completes our presentation.
Okay, are there any other proponents of this application? Hearing none, are there any opponents to this application? There are no opponents. I have a motion to close this hearing.
I'll move to close the hearing.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, it is the board's pleasure.
Find your backs.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we have, the project is Nero, plat assessors N-R, lot 283. Requests for, demolition of an existing freestanding garage with a request to construct a 1-car attached to the existing house with 2 bedrooms upstairs, 23 by 23, with a right side deck, 23 by 11, and an outdoor shower, 5 by 8. We heard from attorney Mr. Green as far as presenting the plan. Their architect, and I apologize if I destroy the name, Peter Bosio, almost as bad as mine. And we also heard from Edward Pimentel, who gave us a zoning ordinance consistency analysis, which has been introduced as an exhibit. When I go through the original request on it, the elevation plan has been satisfied as far as the finding of fact. The town water and sewer, it's already on that, it's an existing house. Parking has been demonstrated as being up to the standard. As Mr. Pimentel testified, parking has been met, the 3 qualifications. The setbacks, there are none, and all dimensional are in compliant. So therefore, the only thing that is of need is a special use permit because of being more than 4 bedrooms. Oh, correct, the planning board recommendation on page 7 of 8 of the staff report include both 1 and 2 of the planning board recommendation. Also include I believe staff's recommendation 2 through 5 on page 4. Did I miss anything?
Mr. Chairman, I want to go back to the planning board recommendations. Typically, you approve those with your, the application with the conditions in your next motion.
Yes.
And you, the board considers those two recommendations. If you'd like them to be included, in this case, it would be the applicant reduce the roof pitch, which would no longer apply, and the board could consider having the property deed restricted. However, I would suggest that the board deliberate on those, and the staff did not strike those out because those were conditions that were created by, or that were suggested by the planning board based on the old plans of the detached garage with the separate units.
I'd like to withdraw the recommendation of the 2 planning board. As Ryan just mentioned, that the pitch is no longer an issue. And I would probably question whether you need a deed restriction. I don't know how you would have a 2-family house within 1 family, 6 bedrooms, 1 kitchen. It doesn't meet any of the qualifications of multifamily.
We can discuss that after. I think
Okay.
we just need to conclude the statement of facts.
So I'll take those out of the facts then. Did I miss anything else?
I think so.
I think we have that.
There's my findings.
Is there a motion to accept the findings of fact?
I'll move to accept the findings of fact.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Chair. I thought that Mr. Charnazal made the motion,
You did.
so Karen
So
is
just a
second.
Oh, I thought
Okay.
I second.
Second.
Thank you.
All in
Sorry.
favor?
Aye.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the special use permit. 12.23 special use permit for development standards for homes that exceed 4 bedrooms. I left off the planning portion only because I don't think it fits.
Mr. Trennisau, would you like to include specific criteria based off of 12.23, why you find that the application meets those in your motion to approve with the conditions that are outlined in the staff report, numbers 2 through 5, yeah, and striking the 2 recommended by the planning board?
Yeah, based upon the evidence that was given from both attorney Edward Pimentel as well as the architect, all compliances as far as dimensional have been satisfied, parking has been satisfied, there are no setback issues, and include staff recommendations 2 through 5, and also strike the planning board recommendations 1 and 2 on page 7 and 8.
Is there a second? The motion is to approve the special use permit. Is there a second for that? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passes 4-0.
Mr. Chairman.
The next matter on the agenda is Tarek, Flat Part 2, Lot 318, 26 Starfish Drive.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Attorney Stephen Surdit, on behalf of the applicant, Dr. Tarek, who is seated over here to my right, with offices at 585 Kingstown Road in Wakefield, Rhode Island. the pleasure tonight of representing Mr. Tarek and his family, who have owned and utilized this property since about the year 2000. So it's a fun year to reach back in time to. We're here tonight to ask permission of the board to allow Mr. Tarek to construct a new home, a little bit bigger, but very much similar to the existing home. One of the key elements of our application is that we are presenting for you an application with a flat roof. And the reason for that primarily is that's what exists there today. And my client wanted to maintain some harmony with the surrounding community, with the surrounding butters, and we believe that is one of the key elements of our hardship, the existing conditions of the site now, and our goal of maintaining those sight lines on the property, which is one of the elements that you are to consider. I have three witnesses here tonight, Mr. Jeff Welch, who I'm sure the board is familiar with as an expert surveyor, and Mr. Jack Ryan, who is our architect. With that being said, I'll allow Mr. Welch to do his thing and introduce the property to you.
Could you swear in the witness, please?
And I ask that he be deemed an expert in the area of surveying and land.
Deemed an expert in surveying land.
Please raise your hand. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please state your name and spell your last.
My name is Jeffrey Balch, and B-A-L-E-A-L-C-H, and I'm with Frisella Balch and Associates Land Surveyors. What we have here is a lot that's got 23,000 square feet. The gray lines that you see underneath the red house is the original house. The red house is what is being proposed, and then we have a septic system. This area here is the proposed septic system, which is replacing the existing system. The new system is a denitrification system because of its location. We've got two rain gardens that are proposed to address the runoff from the roof, the increased roof area, and we have a infiltration trench along the pervious patio. The driveway initially came in off kind of to the upper right of the plan and entered into the side of the house. And so a large portion of the existing house is over where the existing driveway was located. So there's not a lot of increase in impervious area, there's some, but most of it is similar to what's there in terms of impervious area. The house is down below here is a wetland, just off the screen to the bottom, and the house is designed to be no closer, as a matter of fact, a little further away from that wetland. There is a deck and a patio that's proposed on near the bottom of the sheet here. To the left is Point Judith Pond, and so we looked at different options for where we could put the septic system, and unfortunately this was the only location we could fit on the lot, and it's since been approved by DEM. We have now a garage that's coming in on the right-hand side of the drawing, and that's going to be a pervious driveway. Some of the existing driveway to the upper right is still going to remain. There's a red dashed line around the outside of the house. That's the roof overhang. It's pretty straightforward. There is a little bit of fill being proposed, partly because of the sloping nature of the lot, and we also needed fill around for the deck. There was some concerns about whether we were filling to get ourselves out of the flood zone. We are elevating the building, but most of the fill is really required for the septic system and a little bit around the edge of the house here. The actual garage coming in is a little lower than what was existing. We can't really lower the house too much more because on the top of the sheet, near the top of the house, that part of the building is already below grade. The first floor is below grade. So by lowering it, that would just compound that as a problem. So we've tried to balance the height in terms of the downhill side, which has got some slope, and the amount of fill on the uphill side of the house, plus maintain the slopes for the driveway. Much more to go over.
If I may ask some questions, Mr. Chair. Mr. Frisella, the new septic system will be an overall improvement with regards to the body of water adjacent to it, correct?
Correct.
And that's because it's a denitrification
Correct.
system, replacing an older outdated
Yes.
system?
Yep.
And additionally, your placement of your rain gardens and other stormwater controls on the site will increase the quality of runoff and stormwater leaving the site,
Correct.
which will also improve the quality of water going into the salt pond?
Yes.
And none of these changes will have any impact on public access or the public's ability to utilize the salt pond?
No. Let me, if I just interrupt here real quick. What I didn't describe is at the north end of the property here, just off, you can see where it says right of way, there's actually a public access to the pond, and we're not doing anything within that that's not there already.
And one of the unique conditions of the lot is the amount of slope on the lot,
Yes.
and that's one of the reasons why that we're before the board asking for the varying relief,
Right.
correct?
Yes.
I defer to the board if any board has any questions of our surveyor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bell.
My next witness is Mr. Jack Ryan. Mr. Ryan, how long have you been an architect?
Since 19 years, I believe, 2007.
And have you testified in front of other boards previously?
Yes, I have.
You have not testified in front of this one, though, correct?
I have not.
We'd ask that he be deemed an expert in architecture.
Expert in architecture.
Can I just swear in? Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please state your name and spell your last.
Birth name, John, John, Ryan, Ryan.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us tonight. This has been a bit of a long process. Our plans were submitted back in 2023. And at the time we submitted the plans, the house that we're looking at today would have been compliant in terms of dimensional relief. At the time, the city allowed an 8-foot side yard setback for the district that we're in. And as you can see from our plans, our current house has a right, you guys call it the right yard setback. We are at, I believe, 8.7 feet. So we are in excess of what was permitted at the time we submitted the plans. At the time, well, prior to submitting the plans, I had several phone calls with building official at the time, Wayne Pimentel, and we discussed different ways in which average grade is calculated. And he had a very strong opinion at the time when I spoke to him about it that, because we typically use 4 corners, and he told me what he preferred at the time was that we use the front 2 corners facing the street of the existing house. So we calculated those 2 corners and took the average, that became our average grade. And at the time, a flat roof, well, a low slope roof, less than 4 and 12, was allowed to have a height of 30 feet. And when we calculated our average grade, at the time, it would have been 15 feet. We went up 30 feet to establish a height limit that was 45 feet above sea level. Our house was under that, granted by a fraction of an inch, but we were under, so we were compliant in both the rear yard setback and the height at the time. The last 2 years, my understanding, a lot's happened in the town with zoning and whatnot, and my client has been very patient, because we started designing this house several years before 2023. So we've been at this for 4 or 5 years now together. And the last 2 years have been very difficult, 2.5 years, I would say, been difficult for us as we wait. And of course, zoning has changed since that. We were under the impression when we submitted our plans in 2023 that we would be vested. We made it a point to submit it before all the zoning was changing, and we thought we had vested plans. That's what we were under the impression when speaking to Mr. Pimentel. Here we are 2.5 years later, and I'm presenting to you essentially the same house. There's been some minor modifications in dimensions, minor, a foot here, foot there. Biggest change really being the screen porch, which is over here, and that's not enclosed living space. That's a screen porch that has a roof on it, and we didn't ever make it larger than the existing footprint of the house. So, if we look at our plans here, you can see what we're showing here is, this is the enclosure. We're actually looking at, this is fine, these are not the most recent plans that were submitted to the town. There's some deviations, but I can discuss these because they're not significant deviations. You can see that in the red dashed line here is the existing footprint of the house. And you can see from, this is the house line, the deck line is just off the screen here. It's right about here, the existing deck. You can see our existing house is no closer than where the deck ends. This enclosed screen porch is behind where the existing deck ends. Our enclosed portion of the house is completely behind the front edge of the house. This is the side of the house that faces the pond. The salt pond. And this side of the house to the south is what faces the wetland. You can see here's the existing edge of the house. And we made it a point to make sure that our house is behind that line. And I'm not sure if you're able to zoom out, or maybe this is cropped.
Are there any other pictures, Amanda, that you can put up that might assist the architect?
In terms of,
Well, he's trying to show us the greater area surrounding the house.
Yeah, this is actually good. So you can see here is the existing line here, showing the existing deck, and our current deck is a few inches behind that. So we understand the areas that's of most concern from an environmental perspective are both the wetland to the south, which we are no closer than the existing deck and no closer than the existing house, and the salt pond to the west, in which we are no closer with our deck than the existing deck is, and we are no closer with the enclosed portion of the house than our existing house is. And then again, this oddity is a screen porch, and the reason why we're showing it as part of the house is because we wanted a roof on it so he could enjoy summers and not get rained on if it's raining out. So we are being conservative by counting that towards our floor area, although it's not enclosed seasonally. It's, in the winter it's going to be cold. And if we skip ahead to one of the next slides, you'll see, again, if in our latest set of drawings, which are not being presented here, we actually went ahead and we calculated grade 5 different ways, average grade, because there's been, we know it varies. So we calculated it the way that Wayne had originally mentioned, the 2 points on the front. We calculated it looking at the 4 corners of the existing house, and what we came up with a number on that. We calculated it based upon the proposed footprint of the house, where those 4 extreme corners meet the existing grade. And we calculated it, I believe, the proposed house, where it would meet proposed grade. So all 4 ways, we came up with numbers that ranged, I think, from 13.85 feet above sea level to 14 and change. What we did presenting, because we didn't want to be, we took the lowest number for the height, which is a disadvantage to us. Higher the better for us. So we picked the lower number, 13.85. We applied the number of 26 feet height limit. And that's what we were, attorney can speak to that later, why we're using 26 feet. So when we use the number of 13.85, we apply the 26-foot height limit of a low slope roof, we get a number of, I think it's 39.85 feet above sea level. Our house is significantly higher than that by about 5 feet. I'm sorry, I don't hold to the record on that. I don't have that number exactly, but we are higher because of 2 things. The majority of the change is the fact that the height limit changed since we originally submitted the plans from 30 feet to 26 feet. We lose 4 feet right there. The other factor is that when we originally calculated the grade of the house, we were using the method that Mr. Pimentel asked us to use, the 2 front corners. We were at 15. And by taking the most conservative approach, by count, and it ended up being the widest 4 points on the proposed house against existing grade, we have 13.85. So we lost 1.15 feet in height there. So in total, we're coming in about just over 5 feet too high on our house, based upon the current zoning ordinance. But again, if we were doing it according to what was told to us in 2023, both of these items would have been compliant. The other item being, again, initially the side yard, it was 8 feet back then. It's been increased back to 10 feet. And other than that, there were some questions initially on our submittal about overhangs, where they are. We clarified on our drawings where the overhangs are. Yeah, actually, yeah, that drawing was updated, exactly. So we're showing clearly where all the overhangs are, they're labeled multiple times, so there should be no confusion on that.
And Jack, based upon your review and your expertise, you believe this structure is in conformance with the surrounding neighborhood and the general intent and purpose of the comprehensive plan?
Yes, that's my understanding.
And as you heard me discuss with the land surveyor, you believe that this will actually improve water quality and improve the overall condition of the site?
Yep, yeah, exactly. It will, with the new septic system and all of the, we have the dry wells that we have.
And when you designed this, you took into account access to air, light, views, and solar access of the surrounding neighborhood and community?
Yes.
In that you, and the applicant intended to maintain the flat roof, which allows some of the other structures behind him to maintain a viewscape, correct?
Exactly, yeah, we actually studied the project with a sloped roof on it, and it just made the roof higher, and it didn't really improve the quality of the home for him. So flat roof, we thought was a better match for the design. For one, the existing house has a flat roof, and number two, it seemed to both advantage the homeowner and also the neighbors by not having that ridge go any higher by that 5-foot difference. The other condition that Mr. Walsh spoke to a little bit concerning the site is, when you're up on Starfish Drive, you're up around elevation 19-ish. Our driveway drops down to elevation 14-ish. So there's a good 5-foot drop. So our house is kind of like nestled in there. So when you're driving around the corner, like, although like, you know, we are seeking relief on the height, you know, that 5-foot difference is mitigated clearly by the fall off of the land.
And just to reiterate, the height has not changed since the original application, correct?
Has not changed.
So the height that was approved, that we believe to have been compliant with the application when it was filed, is the same height as presented here today, correct?
It is, and you can look at, there have been two,
I'll go into that part. Well, let's not get too legalese unless we absolutely have to. And the hardship, the size of the lot, the unique conditions, and the existing house were not created by the applicant, correct?
they were not, he purchased them away.
And the granting, you don't believe that this will alter the character of the neighborhood or the surrounding properties because these requests have been granted, correct?
No, no.
And based on your experience, this is not going to have any impact on public access to the water,
No.
or it will actually be a net benefit to the overall salt pond and the conditions of the salt pond, correct?
Yes, environmentally it will.
Does the board have any questions of the architect?
Questions? Questions? Thank you, sir.
Just very briefly call the homeowner.
Thanks for looking over the application.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Please state your name and spell you last.
Yes, Richard Terrick, T-E-R-E-K.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Tarek, how long have you and your family owned this property?
Since 2000.
Okay, and how do you use and enjoy the property?
It's pretty much weekends and summers for the most part.
And you're coming forward here today to modernize the home?
Yeah.
It's getting a little old and tired.
Yeah, it's got some serious problems. The windows are, you know, they're park windows are failing, there's a lot of things failing.
And this is the best way for you and your family to use and enjoy this property, correct?
Yeah,
Be more than a mere inconvenience for you folks not to be able to build a nice new modern code-compliant home.
yeah, it'd be much better to do that.
And you've heard the testimony of our experts here today, and you concur that it is in conformance with the surrounding neighborhood, the town comprehensive plan, and you took into account your neighbors, the light, the views, public access to the salt pond, and all other things.
Yeah, we've been working on this for a long time.
Quite some time, and I appreciate, I've only been involved for some of that time, but we've had a little bit of an up and down with the changes in the zoning ordinance, correct?
That's right.
And you have not changed the height since the initial application was filed in December of 2023, correct?
No, that's right.
Have any questions of the board?
Any questions? No questions.
With that being said, I'll briefly conclude. And I defer to the board if the board would like to get into the detailed travel of the case and this lawyers on the board, issues of vesting and all these other things which I'd like to avoid here today if the board has a favorable opinion with regard to this application at this time. I'd be happy to delve into that, but it's getting later in the evening. It's a rare night that we might actually get out with some sunlight involved. So if the board doesn't feel that that's necessary, I'll omit it and focus on the elements of the variances in the special use permit that I've discussed with the witnesses.
Mr. Serta, do you want to wait and let us see if there are any other proponents or opponents, and then you can close?
I think that's appropriate.
That
Thank you,
sounds
Mr.
all
Chair.
right. Are there any proponents of this application in the audience, other than those people who have already testified? Are there any opponents of this application? There are no opponents. Okay, Mr. Serta, you can make your argument.
I will, I'll be brief, as I said. I believe that based upon the testimony here today, you have sufficient findings of fact and evidence to substantiate the approval of this proposed application in front of you with regards to the variance standards and the special use standards. Specifically, the most important ones, in my view, with regard to the special use permit here, are that there'll be an improvement to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare, which we've discussed with regard to the salt pond, which is a unique resource that we all in town get to utilize and access. We will not impact public access in any way, and we're taking substantial steps to make sure that both landscaping and access to the site do not impact the public access immediately adjacent to the site. The applicant and his design team, in putting forth this application, took into account access to air, light, and views of other parties, and access to public water bodies, specifically the salt pond, which you see right there. I would also suggest to you that the applicant did not create the hardship here, the unique site conditions, the unique topography of the site, and that the requests here today are based upon the unique nature of the lot, not the surrounding neighborhood or any other surrounding properties. And that, as you heard the applicant testify, the property is getting old and tired, and as you all probably are listening to me, and we'd like to come forth and build a new modern code compliant application that meets all your standards, and specifically that it is due to the unique characteristics of your lot. And my client didn't build the lot, he didn't create the lot, he didn't subdivide the lot, so he certainly didn't create the unique conditions and the hardship on the lot. And with that, I'll sit down and listen.
Thank you. Okay, is there a motion to close this hearing?
I'll move to close.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, it's the board's pleasure.
Go ahead and submit findings of fact.
Yes, sir.
Great. So as it relates to Project Tarek, it's 26 Starfish Drive. Several things being requested for relief. Coastal Section 4.4 Coastal Resources Overlay District for a variance and special use permit. And Section 6.4 dimensional regulations relating to a right yard setback variance and approximately 5-foot height variance. We heard from several witnesses, first being Jeffrey Balch, who is recognized as an expert surveyor from Varcella Balch Surveyors. Said it's about a 23,000 square foot lot. The quality will be improved due to it being a denitrification septic system, which should be to the benefit of the salt pond to the west, and to I guess to the west, and then the wetland to the south, or thereabouts. I think directionally. There are 2 rain gardens and an infiltration trench. It's also going to be further away from the wetlands. There'll be some fill used for the septic and for that trench, but there are going to be no changes to the access, as mentioned, to the salt pond for the public relating to the right-of-way. We heard from an expert in architecture, being John Ryan. The plan was submitted originally in 2023. I think it was December, you said, and it would have been compliant. You've calculated the grade in several different ways, including what was stated at the time being the front 2 corners. Suggesting to keep a flat roof relative to the existing property that will be demolished. Thought the plan was vested. I know we touched on that briefly, didn't delve into it further. So basically, the plan is going to be higher by 5 feet, as we said. Mr. Ryan stated that he believes the plan conforms to both the town's comprehensive plan as well as to the neighborhood, the character of the neighborhood itself. We heard from the owner, Dr. Richard Tarek, whose family have owned it since 2000. They use it for weekend use in the summers. There were no other proponents or opponents. Lawyer Serta submitted that basically summarized those three witnesses and said that there would be no impact to air, light, or access to the salt pond, and that the applicant had not caused the hardships from which they are seeking relief. Town, in terms of the planning board recommendation, was that the application was complete, and that there would be conditions. I would just note there are 8 conditions, not 9, stated. So we'll just change that in the motion for conditions 1 through 8, not 1 through 9. And that additionally, that the left side rear yard deck will remain completely open, and the revised site plans, I think you said there's an updated plan that wasn't quite the most recent version, if I'm correct, Mr. Ryan?
I believe the architectural floor plans were not.
Okay, so do we have the current site plan then?
Mr. Ball, the plans that were provided were the most recent.
Okay, great, so that, okay, good, so that will be per the site plan, and that landscaping will not be planted in any way that blocks or inhibits public access to the adjacent coastal right-of-way.
Okay, is there a second to accept the findings of fact?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
And is there a motion?
Yeah, I would motion that on the basis of those findings of fact, and everything that we've presented here in terms of the staff report, also from the planning board and from the witnesses that we've heard, the project Tarek be granted the relief requested from section 4.4 of the Coastal Resources Overlay District and section 6.4 for the 2-dimensional regulation variances. Subject to the conditions 1 through 8 of the planning board recommended, and then the 2 below as well.
Mr. Ball, if I can clarify, would you like to amend the condition number 1 that was proposed by the planning board for your recommendation, for your review, that the revised site plans depicting these changes will be required to be submitted? We do have
since we do have that, I would just strike 1 and leave 2.
Well, you can keep 1 if you'd like for the rear yard deck to remain completely open.
Yeah,
You can
okay.
strike the second portion of that condition, if that's
Okay, yeah, since we
satisfying.
have the current plan.
Sure. And then if I could just bring something quickly to your attention. On the upper floor plan, there are 2 offices that definitionally would meet the criteria under section 2.2 definitions of the zoning ordinance, which is a room that's greater than 70 square feet and doorways that are 48 inches or less. So that this would bring the total number of bedrooms in the house to 4, not 3, and this property has an approved 3-bedroom OWTS system.
Right.
If the board, to address that, the board could add a condition that there be no more than 3 proposed bedrooms on the top.
No objection to that
objection?
condition.
Okay, great, I would add that as well, thank you.
Yep.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
I laughed at the whole entire joke.
What? You don't want mine?
I got 1. One's a lot.
Motion to adjourn.
Especially for me.
Motion to adjourn.
What?